Welcome to Brutally Honest Talk Radio, where you will learn about an issue minus the BS. We don't always say what you want to hear, but what you need to hear about the issues of the day. Here's your host, Inger, along with Elmo, with his political insight and commentary.
This is Inger, and I have with me Elmo, and this is Brutally Honest Talk Radio. How you doing, Elmo?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Inger. Welcome, everybody, to Brutally Honest Talk Radio, also known as BHR, also known as YouCan'tMakeThisUp.com. So get ready to log in. I got a pretty decent show for you.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it. Let's see. I think tonight we're going to talk about the vaccine and the pushback of unpatriotic Americans, Biden's appointment of 3 Latinos to his staff, and Gavin Newsome and more hypocrisy. How's that sound?
Absolutely. Absolutely, positively.
All right.
So, hey, I guess we'll start. Why don't we jump in with the Biden appointments to his cabinet, to his staff? You know, just heard this since the last couple of days. So it was news. It made its own story that he appointed 3 Latinos.
Okay.
That was like the main substance, the main mass of the story.
Okay.
Don't know much about them. I know that one of them, a woman, her name is Julie Chavez Rodriguez.
Okay.
I hope I have that right. or honestly, it may be Julie Chavez and another one may be Rodriguez. But Julie Chavez is the granddaughter of Cesar Chavez.
Oh, interesting.
Who did his thing in the 60s, you know?
Yes.
All right. So
Okay.
I guess the thing about this is this really a story? And is this identity politics where it would not have necessarily been a story had they not been Latino?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't make up the whole staff. So what about the rest of the staff? Who are they? And what are they going to do? You know, that's what critical thinkers are concerned with. That's what we're really looking at and thinking about is what are people going to do?
Exactly. And I don't know why it would not be more important to lead with their qualifications than with their ethnicity. That's like you said, we want to know what they're going to do. How are they qualified for this position? What have they done in the past? I really don't care what their ethnicity is.
Yeah, I understand it can be a feel-good thing to see diversity. Well, let's put that in the movies and in the circus and in music videos and entertainment. I guess it looks good, it feels good. But I'm not going to give somebody a free pass and let them get away with paving a road to hell because of what race they happen to be.
Absolutely. And folks are so interested in diversity of skin color that there's more. Diversity consists of more than just skin color. It's diversity of thought, diversity of attitude, that sort of thing. And the one they're missing is diversity of thought. That's what's gotten us into this mess. Everyone's going for the look instead of the intellect, you know. So.
And remember Biden, he said that Latinos were more diverse than Black people. Although I think that's a different diversity that he had in mind.
Yeah.
That's different. That's more
Definitely.
like trying to cater to, I don't know how you think. I don't know how you act or your culture or what I need to do to jive with you or to appear to be down.
Mm-hmm.
Which is more a PR kind of thing. You know, public relations. Let me make sure that we're on the same page culturally. But anyway, so that's all I've heard so far. I'm sure more will come out by the time they get going, or by the time he becomes president. However, one of the things I heard about the story is that all three of these Latino people are alumni of the Obama administration.
We didn't see that coming, huh?
Well, that's the only other thing they mentioned with. But when I heard that, I was thinking, Biden can't even be original when it comes to this.
Right. He's still
You got to use the
plagiarizing.
same people. So really, he didn't even pick them. They're carryovers.
Right.
You
And
know.
after 47 years, he still doesn't have anyone that he can pick on his own. Like you said, they're carryovers. He did it. This is the result of doing nothing for 47 years in Congress. You have to pick from other administrations
I have a
to have a
question
cabinet.
about him. This outside of politics, I guess. Just a question. It may never be answered. Why does Biden have more hair now than he did in 1983? If
Good
anybody has an
question.
answer to that, please send it to brutehonest.radio@gmail. You know, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, if he was gonna have a hairpiece, it wouldn't look it wouldn't look as bad or look the way that it does now. You know.
Right.
But I noticed that like back in the early 80s, he had black hair and he had a comb over. I'm like, man, his hair is thinner then. How did he get the thickness to come back?
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other ideas about that? Or you want to jump into the next thing?
No, it's just that, it's going to be more of the same. It is going to be more of the same. It's
Yeah.
the Obama administration all over again in more ways than one.
And then
So,
when you start walking down that road and playing that game and you make it a thing, like you to even talk about it or announce it, then
mhm,
you have other minorities complaining. I mean, if you look long enough and dig hard enough, you find 15, 20 different races in America. And then somebody say, well, why am I not represented? When am I
right,
going to get my turn? Why did you put them in there? See, like you like skip straight to that without talking about qualifications. Then it makes it look like it's because of their background.
right,
And then people step up and go, well, what about my people? I mean, everyone in every race isn't like that, but there are some that are playing that game and they say, oh, well, if you laid the rules for the game this way, then, since you're doing that, I mean, maybe I might have a shot. I
right.
am Native American, German, Aborigines. You got to represent, put me in there.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. We laugh about it, but it's true. It's
It's,
true.
uh,
Everybody wants to have their turn.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I
So
still haven't
what's
seen
mhm.
Obama. I mean, they mention Obama and that these people work with him. And it's still remember, it was so long into the campaign before Obama came out and endorsed Biden. It was like
Mhm.
everybody else is dead, everybody else broke camp. Okay, all right,
Right.
yeah. Bloomberg, you're out. You're out. You sure? It's official. Okay, I guess. But while Biden was running for president, they had a video advertisement. This was on YouTube, I think, real quick.
Hmm.
And you see Biden and Obama like in the same shot, and maybe in some office in the White House, there's a woman standing in the background. They're kind of looking in different directions like this and laughing about something.
Hmm.
Looking at this video, I know that this video was at least 10 years old that Biden
Okay.
is using to run for president in 2020. You know how I know that the
How?
video is 10 years old?
How?
Because Obama's hair was black,
Oh my gosh, that's a
all
clear
black.
giveaway. It's a
So,
clear
and you see how
giveaway.
great he is now. So,
Yes.
they throwed it up there real quick. Like, look, he's down to vote with me. You still getting him? No, I'll pick up on this stuff. Anyway. Yeah. So, let's jump into this thing with Gavin Newsome.
Hmm.
It's more hypocrisy because I mean, this was just earlier this month. He's telling people don't get together for Thanksgiving, don't have parties of 5 or 6 or more or whatever the number was. Don't meet with large groups. Wear your mask. That's the main
Mhm.
thing. Wear your mask indoors. So last week, because this is Monday, it's still
Mhm.
fairly early week in the week. Last week, I believe it was, Gavin Newsome went to a birthday party at somebody's house,
Mhm.
and it was 12 people there. And he's
Mhm.
telling California, don't get together with people, with groups that are larger than half that size. Then
Right.
he goes to a birthday party, and he didn't have a mask on. He's saying definitely wear your mask when you get together with people. And then when he was checked about it, when he was confronted about it, he said, well, the gathering was outside. Wrong. Somebody had a camera. Y'all clearly in a room in a house. He said, well, the door was open to the outside. So that's just like being outside.
Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Instead of saying I was wrong, I shouldn't have done it, blah blah
Yeah.
blah, we had the door open. It's like being outside. So
Which is not. I mean,
Yes.
unless you're
Oh,
right
boy.
at, those French doors that are by a patio where you open both of them. I mean, it's a wide open, and then people are near the door, but it doesn't matter because you're still in a closed in space. You got four walls around you, one of which is the opening for the door, which is a hole. That's not the same as being outside where you got currency of the wind and it comes and goes and it takes breaths of air and everything else all
Yeah.
around you. It carries it away.
Oh
So
gosh.
he clearly was lying and is being hypocritical. To me, that's the epitome of hypocrite. Is you're telling someone else to do something that you're not willing to do.
Exactly.
But there's another aspect to this, is the fact that if he's meeting with 12 people and he sees all these people, it's not like at some point he said, man, this is dangerous, I need to get out of here, there's too many people in one place. So you're meeting with all these people and you don't have a mask on, you're obviously not scared. You're not scared for yourself. I'm sure that
Right.
everybody at that birthday party wasn't COVID tested before they walked in the
Before they
door.
showed up. Right.
Yeah. So he doesn't even believe the stuff that he's peddling. I mean, if he was scared, he would clearly have had a mask on,
Right.
or would have never met with that many people. And California, I mean, California is very spread out, but they had the most cases, of course,
Hmm.
being such a large state. So now Cuomo, and we talked about him on the last episode. That's obviously a horse of a different color. He might be in Cuomo Towers, hiding away somewhere, staying safe with all the amenities of life.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the capital of New York State is. I don't think it's New York
Um,
City.
I don't think so. I don't know why I don't know this offhand. Um, it's not New York, New York.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a famous city or city that's known for anything else. Probably.
Yeah. And I'm gonna look it up while we talk.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, the hypocrisy of Newsom is just it's astounding. So he's telling everyone you cannot go and spend time with your family. It's all been in New York. That's it. Like it's all been in Georgia. It's all been in
Albany.
New York. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's telling people that they cannot spend time with their family,
Yeah.
not anybody else, their family. Meanwhile, he's out spending time not only with his family, but with people, his friends, people who don't live in his household, and it's more people than he told everybody else they can meet with. And then he
Yeah.
justifies it and says, oh, it's okay because we have the door open.
Let's change the mascot of the Democrat Party from the donkey to the hippo.
For hypocrite.
The hypocrites, right? Hippopotamus crit party.
Right. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
And then Lightfoot in Chicago, she's telling people that Thanksgiving is canceled.
Yes. And
Right?
who knew a politician had the strength and the audacity, but the fortitude and power to cancel a holiday that's been around for hundreds of years, or at
Yeah.
least 100 years.
I mean, the Pilgrims had to deal with smallpox, and they didn't even let that stop them from celebrating
Right.
Thanksgiving.
That's right. That's right. But now, Lori Lightfoot said that you can't celebrate Thanksgiving. I thought she was caught in her own bit of hypocrisy, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Oh yeah, I was getting to that.
Okay.
You probably saw the same video footage. This is again the proximity of when two different statements are made.
Mm-hmm.
When one is right behind the other, or when they're close together, that makes a difference. And so with her saying Thanksgiving is canceled, also, I'm pretty sure earlier this month, she's standing outside with people with a megahorn, with a bullhorn.
Yes.
It's a thick crowd. You know what I'm saying? People are 3 and 4 feet away from her, and she don't have a mask on.
At all.
But hopefully the bullhorn, that'll like filter the spit from going out and being amplified to the
it's
people
projecting
around.
onto everyone.
It filters the sound, and then only the sound comes out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but with Newsom not wearing a mask, we know about Nancy Pelosi going to the nail salon, and I don't believe she has dementia. She hasn't lost her memory, hasn't lost her mind yet.
No.
She knows what she just said about telling people to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And we know it's obviously being a hypocrite, but the same thing. For her to go and be around the nail technicians and the other people there and not have a mask on, she's not scared.
Right.
And she's not a spring chicken. All right?
Right.
I don't know how much vitamin C she's popping, but, just looking at her age, she's more susceptible, and it's going to be more painful and more aggressive if she were to get it.
Yes.
So that tells me something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
She is in the high risk category.
Yeah. So I mean, we gotta say something about this, because the mainstream media is not.
Right.
I mean, you may see some things on the thing on Facebook or Instagram with Nancy Pelosi. They had a visual to show real quick, but even still, that was more or less shared by conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't mainstream media or people that have that Democrat allegiance. They're not going to bring out anything that could thwart the plan,
mm-hmm.
or make people switch. When you should never be afraid of the truth.
Right.
The truth is what it is. The truth doesn't even care what party you're a member of. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So just speak it.
Yes. Yes. And we have so many people who are around and trying and legitimately working to keep each other safe and hopefully not to spread it. And they're trying to take care of other people, not just family members, but other people in general. And they're abiding by these guidelines because they are being, it's for their job, or they're trying to keep other family members from getting it, and they're trying to be safe, and they're abiding by all these rules that are extremely fluid. But she has to go get her hair done. I mean, talk about a total lack of respect for the people who pay her paycheck, for the taxpayers. A total lack of respect for them. Wow. And and then she's going to throw the hairdresser under the bus.
Oh yeah, she said it was a setup, right?
It was a setup. Yes, that's what she said.
Right.
Yeah.
I know when I go to the barber, he asks me to take my mask off so that he can cut the hair that's, on my neckline or whatever. But that's it. I'm not telling other people to wear masks. I guess that's the thing.
Hmm.
I guess that's a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And you're not going around setting the rules for everyone else,
Mm,
from your position or anything like that. And even your barber, that's his shop. If he wants to do
yeah,
that, then that's fine, you abide by it. But he's not
yeah.
telling everybody this is what they'll do and then turn them into criminals if they don't do it.
Right, right. I mean, he
Yeah.
said you have to have a mask on to come in here, and they take your temperature at the door. So if you don't have a mask, I don't know if he does like Kroger and will give you one, give you a disposable one if you don't have it.
Right.
But those are his rules.
Right.
If you walk up to the door without wearing a mask, or if it sees you walking outside, it's not going to call the police. Tell them
Right.
you need to bust this person.
Exactly. Exactly.
A
You know.
phrase that we've seen over the last few years that's been mentioned a lot is intellectual honesty.
Hmm.
You know, it
Okay.
seems kind of like a double obvious. Like, it shouldn't that be the only kind of honesty that people have? Is
Like,
intellectual?
well, I would think so.
Like, be intelligent. Think about what you say before you say it. Honesty is not necessarily speaking the truth. It's letting me know exactly how you feel.
Hmm.
But when intellectual honesty has been mentioned, it's usually in a context of someone being honest with themselves.
Right.
And who was this guy? I wish I could say his name. Kind of a heavy set white fella who's a comedian. Last name something like Gaff or Gaffer, and
Hmm.
has a series or a show, right? A comedy special, something on Amazon where he's a centaur, like in the poster,
Oh
like the
goodness.
upper half of his body, and he's connected to a horse. So
Uh-huh.
he said this thing that Yahoo covered, or quoted him on. He was like, "This is the litmus test. This is the standard that you use to decide whether or not you're going to vote for Trump." This is obviously before the election. So I'm like, yeah, this just made me curious. So I'm reading through and I'm like, okay, what is he talking about? And with an open mind, I'm saying,
Hmm.
okay, whatever he's saying, let me make sure I should be able to do it and then decide if I want to still vote for Trump or not. So what
Right.
he said, you can look your grandchildren in the eye 20 years from now when they get grown and tell them why you voted for Trump. I'm like, oh, that's easy. That's an easy one.
That's all.
I'm like, how much time you got? I can leave 5, 6, 7 reasons. But
Uh-huh.
it's really kind of a stupid thing, because how many of us from our generation, we went to our grandparents and said, why did you vote for Johnson? Why did you vote for
Right.
Kennedy? We're not thinking about that.
That's exactly
You know,
right.
he's
Mhm.
thinking that history is going to look back on this year and it's going to be such a disaster. I don't know. I mean, you think about when The Simpsons first came out, and how controversial that was. None of the networks wanted to touch it, just Fox,
Right.
ironically,
Hmm.
Fox. And the way that Bart was talking and what the
Yeah.
hell are you talking about, man? And different subject matter on the show.
Yeah.
Now you look at shows like American Dad and Family Guy, and The Simpsons is mild.
Oh
It's like, The
wow.
Simpsons is on? Bring all the kids in the room. There's no way I can shock them. They might get the joke, they might not. I mean, it's really directed toward adults. But so I think that Trump pushed the envelope and broke the barrier to a
Hmm.
certain extent, to where 20 years from now, I don't think anyone, I think that the country and times will change so much. I don't think that anyone's going
Right.
to look at Trump and what he was saying. And I mean, they don't even talk about Bush anymore.
That's true.
And they called him Hitler
They sure did.
and all this other stuff. Said he was a chimp, a monkey.
Hmm.
You know,
They
no
did.
nobody
Yes.
nobody even brings him up. Nobody's even the people that hate Trump don't even compare Trump to Bush.
No.
That's how much they're not talking about Bush. You know,
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And it was interesting. The Bush family, they were hugging the same people that called them all kinds of names all those years
oh,
ago. It's like,
yeah,
really? That's doesn't
yeah,
sit well. It doesn't sit well.
yeah. Washington D.C. is turning into a zoo now. I'm just, you
Yes.
hear people say stuff and have different phrases. I'm like, paper tigers, lame ducks. We got animals all over the place.
Oh boy, that's the problem. They them for term limits more and more all the time. Something
Yeah,
has got to give. We just cannot go on like this. They can't. They stay up there. There's no reason. And I go back to Biden again. There is no reason politician in office for 47 years.
yeah,
He's done nothing. He hasn't gone back home to do anything. And for 47 years, he's been in DC. Same thing with, I think it's Pelosi. I think she's been up there, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 30 or 40
and
years
where is she
herself.
from? What city is she from? Do you know?
San Francisco. She
Oh,
represents San Francisco. Yes.
yeah,
I mean, career and politician should not be two words that go together. Uh,
yeah,
You know, at the federal level, that should be an oxymoron. you
right.
know.
And one problem with that is we got to stop. I mean, is Congress, are they the ones that vote on term limits? Are they the ones that decide, or is
I,
somebody else going to have to vote on that, or that we have to go through?
I think it is determined by, I think it has to be a constitutional amendment, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think so.
And that
Um,
happens in the courts, right? The
well,
Supreme
now
Court.
that's something that we can do. We'll have to influence our legislators
For the
to,
amendments?
I think so. I think so. If I'm not mistaken, as I think of this, I'm thinking of this organization called Convention of States. And I think that's one of the things that they're trying to make happen as well. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. We
we,
went to their website
yeah,
a week ago or so.
yeah,
Conventions. I got some information off of there.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but something has got to be done. This should not stand. This is the reason why we're in the mess that we're in. And on the flip side of that, people would say, well, if you term limit congressional members, then what you have are their staff who ends up running things. So it's like, okay, but there is a chance that if you turn over the congressional members enough, that the staff will get turned over as well. So,
Well,
people
yeah,
are bringing
because
their own
their
people.
their bosses will decide if they're going to keep them
Hmm.
or get some new people. That's true.
Right, right. So, but yeah, it's something's got to give. Something has got to give.
On the vaccines that are coming out for COVID,
Hmm.
Moderna and Pfizer's vaccine. So we
Hmm.
talked about one part of it, which was Cuomo not wanting it to come into the state of New York. Another part of it, and this is from him also, and many others, is they are against pharmaceutical companies profiting off of making a vaccine that's going to save lives. You should be doing this due diligence. This is to help humanity. It's a humanitarian effort, and you shouldn't be profiting off of this. All right, let me start with this. Let's start with this. Okay, go into the drugstore, and all the drugs you find, which we're talking about over-the-counter, prescription, any vaccines they have, which should be at least 100. All of those companies are profiting.
Mm-hmm.
All of those companies are making a profit off of that.
Yes.
So this isn't anything new. They're in business to do that. They can. There was talk of them having an ego and wanting to get credit and feeling like they're playing God by coming out with, something that can save millions. Look, they're scientists. When it comes to science and medicine and research in a laboratory, they know a whole lot more than I do.
Yeah.
So I want them to do it.
Right.
And then when you come out with it, sell it. I want them to be rewarded
for their efforts.
That's the way it is in a capitalist society. People are rewarded for what they do. You get a patent on something. You could invent something and only make one copy, make a prototype, get a patent. Anybody else that makes or sells that thing, you get a cut.
Right.
Without you even making any more? That how long have patents been set up?
Right.
Garrett Morgan, who invented the traffic light and the gas mask, which is probably 100 years ago, maybe longer, he had patents. He profited from this. So it's good. I want Bill Gates to make more money than me. He changed the world. He helped me out. He blessed my life. So if somebody comes out this soon after this disease comes and invades America and comes out with a vaccine that works, please reward them.
They've earned it. They've earned it. And imagine the gall of politicians to say that these companies are trying to play God when every year people are trying to convince them to stop daylight savings time. Please, just either one, daylight savings time or standard time. One or the other. That's all
Talk
people
to
want.
Arizona. They could let people know under no uncertain terms how much they appreciate not switching up on the times twice a year.
Exactly. In Congress, who apparently implemented this particular daylight savings time thing, and they're trying to play God, has the gall and the audacity to say that this company that's done the research and their expertise in these medicines and vaccines, and this is what they do. They're telling them these companies play God. These same people who just said, well, you cannot have Thanksgiving and Christmas,
and
are now coming after the company and saying that the company's playing God.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
But that's why it's unpatriotic. Is because they want to do this. They want to do this. Yeah. I think whoever comes out with the proven vaccine that works the best, I think we should have a ticker tape parade for them on Madison Avenue. Roll them down there and shut everything down. Give them the key to the city. Whatever. Reward them.
Right. As they should be. And the politicians, the only one that did work for free was Donald Trump. The rest of them have never worked for free.
That's a good point.
They have
how many mainstream media people have you ever heard Wolf Blitzer mention the fact that Donald Trump didn't collect a salary?
Not once. Exactly. But yet and still, he's the enemy. Yet and still, we're to believe them and fall for everything that they say.
All he cares about is himself.
That's it.
That's why he left his billions and his companies. Right. And I've talked about that.
Yeah.
This is this is something that should not be politicized at all.
No.
I mean, Governor Cuomo, stand up and be proud that America was the country to come up with something. And you know what? I hope they share it international, worldwide, and profit in 200 different countries.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
we are blessing them and helping them.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're the only country to do this. The only one.
Yeah, or the first, you
The
know.
first. The
We blazed the
first, yeah.
trail in so many things. And I know that some people may be concerned about whether or not it works. Again, I just mentioned two things: the Food and Drug Administration and the testing that
Hmm.
goes on. I mean, what was the test that they did months ago where they gave people a vaccine and they gave the other half a placebo and to see if it, if it made a difference? I don't know if
Hmm.
that was a vaccine or if that was for people that are actually infected and a medicine to help them get better. But
Yeah.
nobody put a gun to their heads. They're all
No.
volunteers. They may have not even been paid. I don't know.
Right. That's
So
true.
it's okay. But all of these people that are criticizing, I would guarantee you, if they get sick and they're lying on their back, even the staunch Democrats,
Hmm.
and they need something that's going to help them get well or give them relief, they're going to look to the left or the right and see if any of their constituents are watching, and they're going to take that medicine.
You're right. Exactly. What is it? The remdesivir and
Yeah,
the hydroxychloroquine.
right,
Yeah.
right.
They're gonna want
Man.
whatever they can take to, like you said, to make themselves better and to get well. And they act like Donald Trump is the one in the lab stirring it up and
Right.
running the tests and that sort of thing. So they've demonized it. Like you said, even though these are scientists who know what they're doing, they do this as their business, their expertise. So,
Yeah, I think that a part of that is just the um, they feel like they don't want to support. I mean, this is really stupid with the vaccine, but I'm just saying anything that's associated with someone,
mhm,
like if Donald Trump wears a Giorgio Armani suit, I'm going to boycott Armani now.
right.
I can't believe you you sold a third him suit. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with the thing with Netflix, where they had this series that they did themselves with a Netflix studio, where they had these girls
Hmm.
who were like preteen, and they were doing the show kind of like, one of these reality show uh, dance troupe or dance
Mm-hmm.
class, and
Mm-hmm.
they were dancing in a way and dressing in a way that were years um, ahead of the actual age that they are.
Mm-hmm.
And some
Yes.
people have said that, well, you should boycott or cancel your Netflix subscription. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, look, I didn't see that. I'm not gonna see it. I'm gonna
Right.
rent. I'm not gonna rent it. I
Right.
have a membership with Netflix because of other stuff that I want to see.
Yes.
Now, if
Yes.
people think that they should do away with it and cancel it, look, take it to court. Let's
Mm-hmm.
figure it out. Push it, fight it, protest it, maybe get a judge involved so that we
Mm-hmm.
can figure out if this is right or wrong. But that's not my fault. I don't have anything to do with that. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
the movies or the DVDs or whatever I rent from Netflix, if Netflix goes away, I can get the same stuff from Redbox or anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really affecting anything,
Right.
you know.
Hmm. Yeah, and I saw a lot of that. I didn't see that show that they were talking about, and I certainly don't want to see it. But
Yeah.
people were calling, like you said, for the boycotts and that sort of thing. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to continue to watch it, then that's all well and good. And but you have the choice, and I choose to watch Netflix for other things as well.
Mhm.
I don't watch those types of shows. I don't That's definitely not that. And don't I don't watch Netflix for reality shows because I figure all they do is they create, like you said, they create the show and it's fiction, and that's kind of where it goes. So but yeah, but again, this is America. People have a choice. People
Right.
have a choice about what they want to see or not see. And no one is, no
So
one's holding a gun to their head.
think about the fact the movie Taxi Driver with
Which I
Robert
didn't
De
see.
Niro and Jodie Foster. You said you
hmm
did or did not?
I did not.
Okay, so
I've heard of it.
it's a rough movie, and De
hmm
Niro is a guy named Travis who's a taxi driver and a Vietnam vet, and he turns into a sociopath,
Oh goodness.
and he becomes more hating of people, and all kind of people are getting in his cab, and he eventually he snaps and goes on a killing spree.
Oh goodness.
Along the way, he meets Jodie Foster. Now this was
hmm
like 1976, you
Okay.
know. So in the movie, Jodie Foster is 12 years old. She's a prostitute.
Oh goodness.
For years, I didn't realize how young she was. I thought she was like 16,
hmm hmm
but she's actually 12 years old. And I mean, that was a controversial thing. But what I'm saying is nobody decided to boycott Jodie Foster movies or De Niro movies or the studio that made it or Martin Scorsese directed anything. Just deal with that one movie
hmm
and the writers and the producers or maybe who was affiliated with that. You know, um, so people just they get they can let their emotions be running ahead of themselves
hmm
before their brain can really think about something or think something through.
Right. They don't before their brain can catch up.
Right,
They
right.
are
And
all the
then
way into something else.
by the time it does catch up, you may find yourself in a land that you didn't want to travel to,
Right.
you know.
Yes, and now you're there by default because of that. But yeah, it is something else. And like you said, people, they would deal with that one movie, either see that movie or not see that movie, but it wouldn't be a matter of going after the actors or actresses or directors or anything like that to try to cancel them out from the rest of their life because
Yeah.
they did something that someone didn't appreciate or that sort of thing. So yeah. And with that, what are your final thoughts?
Some members of government, they try to play God, try to replace God and let you turn to them and have some kind of relationship where they be the savior and then you're all in and hooked to them. And just thinking about the fact that the way that God is in the Bible,
hmm
the father of Jesus, the way that Christianity is, being a part of God's system and in his family, you profit. What I mean by that is when God gives you something or blesses you, he never gives you exactly what you need.
hmm
You always have a surplus. You always have much more. And this is God. And I believe God is good. I believe
hmm
there's a difference between Satan and God.
Yes.
That God made anything that's good, anything that's beautiful comes from God.
Yes.
So just think about that. Think about that. Those who know the Bible, they know that it says God will pour open a window of heaven and pour out a blessing that you do not have room to receive.
hmm
That sounds like much more than I need. That sounds like extra.
Yes.
God blesses people so much. He has so much for people that he had to build a floodgate to hold it back.
hmm
Because if it didn't, it would just be overwhelming and be too much for people to take.
Yes.
So and this is a consistent thing in the Bible with Job or whoever you want to look at, is the abundance and extra. The only thing is you don't have to sell anything with God. I'm just saying that you could say that God is a capitalist, and he talks about sowing and reaping and multiplying. Multiplying means 4 plus 4 is 8, but 4 times 4 is 16.
Right.
Right. So that's kind of how God's system works. Says I can put I'll put or one can put 1,000 a flight, two can put 10,000. That's clearly not addition.
Right.
If it was addition, it would be two will put 2,000 a flight. So it's clearly multiplication there. And so God is giving. That's a reward, though. That's a reward. Like, you got to do the work first. You got to do the work, and then as a result of that, you get rewarded. So it's ungodly to try to take away someone's profit or incentive.
Yes.
So just think about that, people.
Yes. And God says, if you don't work, you don't eat. And those folks are definitely working. Gotcha.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And with that, leave a review for us wherever you listen to this podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and to hit that notification button so you'll be notified whenever we upload a new episode. So with that, take care, and we'll talk to you next time.
Be safe, everybody. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Brutally Honest Talk Radio. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, reach out at bruthonest@gmail.com. That's BRUT, honestradio@gmail.com.